Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and weirdly enough you're watching me out and about. Now on this video what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my trip from my house down to the Whitley Bay Playhouse, and you can see in real time where that went. So the reason why I went down that way was because I met my good friend Stephen Turnbull, and he has given me at a great price, a sweet deal, some movies. So what I'll do is I'll play that footage of when I was walking, but you'll see where I used to live and you'll see where the actual playhouse was from there. I hope no one's watching this, so I'll play the footage for you now and you'll see in real time what it was like coming from my house down to the Whitley Bay Playhouse. So I'm going to show you where the Whitley Bay Playhouse was from my house. Now that there is where I used to live. That's the front door, you can see it, that one there, the front door, 216 Parkview. That there was my bedroom, and that's where all my vinyl was and all my, that's where I lived up there. I'm going to show you, I'm going to take you around the back and to show you how quick it was to get to the Whitley Bay Playhouse. Imagine having this as part of your life as a kid. No wonder I spent half my days in there. I could tell you some stories about these streets. So I'm going to go around the back of the, where it is. That wasn't there. There's a lot of things that weren't there when I was growing up around here. The back of the house is where I used to come out. It's changed now. There used to be some stairs going down there, and that's how I used to come down or fall down. Many people have fell down them stairs. I don't know how people have survived falling down them, because they were illegal. I think you had to have sort of like a breaker fall, and there wasn't any. I'll probably have a picture of it somewhere and I'll put it on over this video. So that there was the back of my house. Just there was the stairwell coming down. I used to come out of here, so this was my trek to the Whitley Bay Playhouse, and you can see in real time exactly where it was. Obviously it's changed a lot since then, but I've been wanting to do this video for quite a while, just to tell people, about the Whitley Bay Playhouse. I talk about it all the time, but I've never shown you yet where it is. So this hasn't changed at all for me from when I was a kid. I used to spend many a time in that back lane up there. That was my back lane, my playground as such. Didn't get many cars around there at that point. So every Monday I'll come down here for 50 pence. I'll get to see what was on at the Whitley Bay Playhouse. So this is another back lane I used to frequent with a few lads around here. Obviously football was the game. Kicking balls up and down the street, that's what you used to do. Didn't everybody? And usually what happened was when you got down to the bottom of the street, or before that, you would probably see what was going to go on with the actual movies you were going to go and see. These houses have never changed. I haven't been on this back alley for many a year. Obviously when you get down here, this area has changed a lot. This used to be, going down there was Spanish City, where I used to work for a couple of years. That was crazy. One of the best jobs you could ever get was working down Spanish City for me. And there's a Dome, which is like a kind of hoi polloi restaurant now. Used to go in there and play amusements in there. It's full of, arcade games and actual pool games. Everyone was a pool wizard down there because that's all we used to do. Play pool, 10 pence a shot. Everything was 10 pence a shot. Some of the one-arm bands were 2 pence, and if you knew the way that the reels went, there was always someone standing next to you and say, "Oh, a couple of nudges up that way, a couple of nudges down." They would spot you with that. You would give them a couple of pence, and you would take the winnings. It was probably £1.50. Can you believe it? And 2 pences as well. Nightmare. So this is the Playhouse. There you go. So when you see it, I mean, you know what I say, it's literally just you fall out of bed and you hear, and you know, you can see now that it's how true that is. The back of it looks the same-ish. This is a door where we've snuck in a couple of times and seen a couple of films. If somebody can get the door open for you. Obviously that was when you were young and stupid last week. And I think that's been built there. That wasn't there before. It used to be the Spanish City Indoor Market used to be here. And that was a place where you could go and get, we used to go and get loads and loads of VHS tapes in this area here. Obviously that's not a thing anymore. It's amazing how many of these things are really big things back in the day, and they're just nothing now. You know, you used to spend your life down here. Nowadays you can't really do that. This is the front of the foyer. You've got, you know, you've got things here. It's like a show house now. It's not a cinema anymore. It hasn't been a cinema for a lot of years. I'd put some pictures on here of what it's like inside. I don't think there's any pictures of what it used to be like. I'll put some pictures of the foyer on here, which has changed drastically. That there's a school, Marine Park, which is in place of the Spanish City the Spanish City, which is crazy to think that something like that has been taken away. Well, schools are schools, but there's not one out of it, don't I tell you that much. So if you go up there and just round the corner there, actually I'll just go around there for a very quick visit to where me and the Debs got married on the 5th of July 1991. So everything literally was round here. You had my house up there where we lived from 1974 till about early 80s, I would say 83-ish. And this church around here, St. Edward's, was the family church of all our family. We used to go there all the time. Well, Sundays obviously. And this has changed. This wasn't here before. You know, your good park over there. We had many a time and fun in that park, but it wasn't like a park with kids. It was just a park with nutcases. So there's the church where we got married there. Yeah, so that's it. You can see this video is only 6 minutes, and it would have took us, you know, when I'm a kid as well, it probably would have took you 3 minutes, if that. Well, nobody, when you're a kid, you don't walk, you always run, don't you? Or I could come that way if I wanted to. This is brand new to me. I don't remember. Well, obviously it wasn't there. It was just what was it? I think it was empty ground. This used to have the Spanish City Market on, as I've said. And yeah, there's amusements over there. And I'll cross over here, and you can see the foyer of the playhouse from the front. Aye, and you, pal. Gonna get ravished by a chihuahua. So yeah, so that's it. Obviously on this video somewhere there'll be pictures of what it used to look like. I mean, I done a decent job. It's a nice place. It's got some, it's been, I mean, it took I did take a photograph, God knows where it was. And literally, they cut the whole of the front of it off, round about here, took it all away, what a mess it was. And then they built this foyer. There's been I've seen some good stuff here. You know, in these, when you get these bands and stuff like that. I'm saying bands, they're like shows. Bay City Rollers, Basil Brush. That's another story. Actually, it was quite good, Basil Brush. I would do the laugh, but I can't. These all used to be amusements. You used to spend your life in these. Quick fits, don't go there, you get ripped off. Like I've been. So yeah, so that's a quick video. I don't know where this video will be coming out. I'm going to put it on a video somewhere, and that's going to take you on a behind the scenes journey to where my local cinema, and you can't get much more local than that, and the stuff they had there, had the Thing, the Fog, trying to think, the Elephant Man. So tons and tons of movies, no like big movies, they were all like sort of, not obscure ones, but like horror ones that you think, looking back on it, you think, well, it was a laugh, and then you think, my God, I can't believe I saw that there. Yeah. Then you go around the corner, you've got that there, the Co-op, used to be the Berkeley Tavern. That's where we used to go for us ales. Well, you know, not a drinker, but there you go. And there's amusements there. So, there you go. That's an overview of the Whitley Bay Playhouse. I really enjoyed that nostalgic trip down to the Whitley Bay Playhouse. And what I'll do now is I'll go back home, have a look through these, and I'll show you when I'm back in the house, Mondo Mansion. I'll show you what these ones are, and I'll talk a bit more about them. So, see you soon. So before I show you the films that I've got of Stephen, I'll just briefly talk about the staircase at the back. Now, as you'll see from the photographs I'm going to show you here, the staircase there was, I think it was about 26 stairs, and there was a lot of problems about those stairs. They were so treacherous, it was unbelievable. And if you went to get in the back door, you had to use them steps. Now, this used to be blocked off. You couldn't see inside as you could do where they've done it now. They've taken a wall away, which was the kind of wall, and you had a back door gate on there. You used to go through there, go into the back garden, which you'll see on this couple of photographs that I've took. Now, the reason why I took the photographs was because, like I say, there's a photograph here standing, sitting on my bike with my granddad, which was taken in the early 70s, and I'll show you that picture now. And even though he doesn't look it in the photograph, my granddad was a really funny guy. Now, that was sitting at the bottom of the steps. Now, that bike I was on, I don't think it was that bike, but I did carry a bike up the stairs with us for whatever reason, God knows, and I fell all the way back down. And how I didn't mutilate myself, I never know. Also, another thing that happened when he came out of there, he didn't have his shoes on, and he went down to the back garden and or the backyard, you would kind of skin off the back of your heels if you weren't careful, because this was Pebble Dash, and it was like I say, it was so treacherous, it was unbelievable. So anyway, in 2004, my dad went up the stairs. Now what he was doing was he was doing some work on the car, and he decided for whatever reason to carry the parcel case, the parcel shelf, sorry, from the back of a car that you take out and you do some work in the boot. He decided to take that up. Now he got to the top of the stairs and fell back down the stairs backwards. And I can't even begin to understand how that must have been. And you'll see a picture of what happened. There's quite a graphic picture, actually, what happened to me dad. So he went down, he fell down these stairs, and he landed at the bottom. And when you see the picture of the stairs, you'll notice at the bottom there's like a black mark, and that's blood from my dad's head. So anyway, we took some photographs of that because my dad wanted some photographs taken on my basic mobile camera phone, and you can tell it's sort of like one of these ones with like 1 megapixel. And anyway, so that's coming up. So what happened was apparently my dad, well, he obviously knocked himself out. He then climbed up the stairs. I don't know how he climbed up the stairs, because actually broken his shoulder as well, because the bone was nearly sticking out of his skin. Apparently, he leant on the arm of the chair, and his kind of this went up a bit because my cousin was there, and my cousin Alan, and he said he said your shoulder's sticking up a little bit. He says, oh, and he must have felt no pain. I don't know how he didn't, but anyway, he'd broken his collarbone, and this was nearly sticking through his skin, so it was a right mess. So the first thing I knew about this was I got a knock on the door, and it was my dad was standing there with the biggest bandage on his head you've ever seen in his life, and he said, "Have you got a hat?" So I said, "Well, never mind that. Get yourself in. And what have you done?" So he come in and he told us, he said, "Oh, I've had a bit of a knock. I fell down the stairs." So I said, what have they done to your head?" He says, "Well, I kind of they put some staples in." I said, "Staples?" I said, "You must have done something really bad." He said, "Well, I split it open." I said, "I've got a couple of staples in." I think he had about 25 staples put in his head. Now, when you think about it, these kind of staples, you think, well, they're like real staples. But when I saw him when he took his hat off, my God, they're real staples. So anyway, you'll see in these couple of pictures I'm going to show you, it's just like I say, I just wanted to talk about this because it's like a part of when I remember that house, 216 Park View. I always remember them staircases being sort of lethal, and they could have been utterly lethal. Anyway, the first two pictures are of the staircases. Bear in mind, you'll see a sort of black mark at the bottom, which is dry blood. And just imagine you carrying something up with your hands, like full. Wasn't heavy, but you know, you had your hands busy. and you fall backwards down those stairs, literally bouncing off practically every single step you can see with your hands on something. I don't know if you let go. I don't think he probably after the first bash, he probably lost consciousness. I just can't even begin to imagine what it was like. So anyway, I'll show them post pictures now. You see them two pictures of the staircase, and also at the end of it, you'll see I took a photograph of my dad's head. Now it's this is pretty much after he did it, not a couple of days after, and the amount of staples he had in his head, and he obviously he must well he had some hair, he had more hair than me, and he must have had the biggest scar in the world from it. But anyway, so the pictures are coming up now. So speaking to somebody who's went down them stairs as well, yeah, wow, can't even begin to imagine how that my dad must have felt like after as well with that. Because when you hit your head, it feels like your head's sticking out here. So that happened, and I want to thank Stephen once again for getting in touch with me and saying would I like to get these at a great price. And I'll go through these in the I'll show you some screenshots. I took some screenshots of these movies, and I'll show you these movies in the when I saw them, and I picked these ones out. These are the ones that I'm going to show them in the order of like how I was most excited to get them. So first up is the Borley Rectory. Now I'd never heard of this one, but when I heard that it was Jonathan Rigby and Reece Shearsmith had something to do with it, I thought I'm in there because I'm a big fan of those two people. If you're a fan of Hammer movies, you will know that Jonathan Rigby does a lot of work on the Hammer behind the scenes of documentaries, and he's brilliant actually. So, and obviously Reece Shearsmith is from the League of Gentlemen, so and is narrated by Julian Sands. Unfortunately, R.I.P. This is a kind of like a ghost story. For fans of the supernatural, Borley Rectory is a must-see. I think this is talking about this Borley Rectory, which has got these some of them. It's one of the most haunted buildings in the UK, and it's quite funny. It's a black and white. It's like animated, but you've got real people in it, real actors, and they tell stories about these supernatural events that happened in this Borley Rectory. Never heard of it before, but when I saw it, I thought I'm going to give that a shot, and the picture quality was pretty good actually. So a very interesting watch, especially at this time of year. That's Borley Rectory. I don't think I'd want to go there if it still stands today. Next up, I've got Zardoz. Now, I'm fully aware of what Zardos is. I've seen this back in the day, and I thought it was just absolutely crazy. Now, I don't think I got crazy when I was that young. So I thought, and I mean, these are all in pristine condition with all the booklets. These have been looked after, really looked after. I knew when I saw them, the pictures that he sent us, I thought, yeah, these are going to be some amazing quality movies as well as the movies themselves. So it was funny because I think this was getting talked about in a stream once, and I was watching a stream and I thought, I thought I might go about this movie and see what it's all about. Of course, I've never bumped into it until I saw it in this pile, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to give this another go because it is strange, it's nuts, God knows what it's all about, but maybe this time round I might get it or might appreciate it or even understand it, possibly. The picture quality in here was pretty good actually. It's a movie that's got a lot of special effects in it with this floating head, whatever that means, and so that takes the quality down quite a bit. It's quite grainy at times as well, but when you get some good shots, it's in some really good picture quality. Also, the fact is that Sean Connery walks around in this red nappy. Everybody talks about the red nappy he walks around in, and it kind of is like that. I don't know what they were thinking of with the way he was dressed, but that's another thing. But yeah, I thought this looked pretty decent actually. So that's one of the strangest movies you'll ever see. Zardoz. Don't even know what Zardos means. Next up, I've got The Monster Club. Now, this is the one that I see quite a lot in HMV, and I always pick it up and think, well, I get it, I'll get it the next time. So when it was in there, I thought, yeah, I'll ask Stephen to put that on one side for us. And it's funny because when you get the cover of this one, the cover for me, and even the back of it, kind of makes out that this movie is going to be one that isn't really a good looking movie. And I put it on thinking it was going to be looking average, and I don't mind that. But this movie looked absolutely stunning. It's one of those movies where you put it on and you say, let's watch this 4K. And I don't think anyone would say anything different. They would probably think it was a 4K. Starring Vincent Price, Donald Pleasance, and John Carradine. I mean, come on. It's got such an amazing cast. Actually, that picture that I showed you there was of B.A. Robertson doing a song. I don't know what this movie is all about. I don't think I've seen it, although I think I have way back in the day, but I have no recollection of it. But I knew it was one I wanted to revisit, and I'm so glad I got it. And also, I'm so glad it looks that good. That's The Monster Club. Next up, now, this is one now, and I saw it, I thought, I've been after this movie for so long, but it's one of those ones where I know it's got such a good slipcover that I couldn't get it without the slipcover. And it was coming to the point where I thought, I'll never ever see this with a slipcover. And when I saw it in the pile with the slipcover, I thought, that's for me. It is Prison. This is the 88 films release. And the slipcover on here is one of those soft touch ones, and it's just, I don't know what it is about these slipcovers. They're just so good. And I've had this in my hands a couple of times in that's a reversible art there. I had it in HMV and I thought, yep, I'll get that next time. And of course, when you sleep on something, what happens? It just vanishes. It's one of those ones you see all the time, and as soon as you want it, it's never around. So that's another reason why I say, look, if you like something or you like the look of it, get it first. If you don't like it, you can always sell it, but you might never get the chance to get such a great version as this. Now, I have seen this film a long time ago on VHS. I have no recollection of it. I do remember liking it, but I can't really place what it is or what it's about, apart from it's like a prison. It's like this fella coming back, a little bit like Shocker in a way. So, really excited to get that one. It's been on my wish list for so long. It's one of those ones as well. I never thought I would get in this version, but there you go. That's Prison. Next up is a one that I've been after for such a long time. This is kind of my childhood in a release, and there's been loads of talk about this on practically every live stream I've went on and looked on. Everyone talks about this very highly. A lot of people hold this in high regard. It is the Hammer House of Horror. This is the TV series, the complete TV series. Now, I know this has been on the TV, so I thought, well, it's going to look kind of, I'm going to say TV quality, if that makes any sense, like a DVD quality. I know it's Blu-ray, but I thought it was I think it's been on DVD. It's got all of them. I remember watching this back in the day and being petrified of most of them when I put them on. The music on here, yeah, that gets me even before it started. As soon as I put it on, I thought, oh yeah, the theme tune. It was so great to revisit that. So anyway, I put it on thinking it would be round about the TV quality, like a DVD quality, but maybe bumped up. When I put it on, it's practically one of the best things I've ever seen. Quality, the sharpness, it's jaw-dropping. So if you're sitting on the fence with this one, do know that you're going to get something really spectacular. Is that the right way up? There you go. So happy to get this. Can't wait to deep dive into this. It's got some special features on here. Um, I think it's got one in widescreen because these are all full frame, like TV, the square ones. But it doesn't matter because that's the way it was shot. But yeah, this is really high in my list of watches, especially at this time of year. I keep saying that. 13 Tales of Terror, newly remastered in high definition. It really has been. I mean, there's no scratches, there's no nothing. This would have been, I'm guessing, round about the late 70s, early 80s, possibly. But I remember watching this and being really, really scared. Will I be scared this time? Who knows? So that's the Hammer House of Horrors, the full series. And lastly, when I saw this one, I thought, I can't believe that that's there. This is a movie that has really intrigued me ever since I heard about it. And I totally forgot that Ruggero Deodato was actually the bloke behind this. I didn't know who I thought did this, but I thought it might be a trauma type movie. And when I saw this and it had to be in this presentation, I picked this movie up. I said, I put it in there. I asked for this one. And this is the one that I was most like excited to see. I mean, these are all great these are all great releases. This one, I haven't seen this movie, but for this edition, I thought I've got to have this. And it is The Washing Machine. This is the Shameless DVD, and it's in a tin, which is basically a washing machine. I love that when it's got that there. And yeah, so look at that. For a presentation, I mean, I would imagine I've never seen this in a while, ever. Just heard about it. And I did hear it was in a washing machine presentation. So I thought, yep, I'll get that. Of course, when you want it, it's not there. And to be honest, if someone had says, oh, well, you can get it on Blu-ray somewhere, I would have said, no, I want it in this version. It's just amazing. And when I put it on, I thought, what's it going to look like in DVD? I didn't mind it was on DVD, but I thought, would it be one of those ones where you think I'd have to get a Blu-ray update of it sometime around? But I tell you what, it looked really nice. So many thanks to my good friend Stephen Turnbull for hooking me up with these great releases. And we are going to meet up again. I'm going to get some more stuff on them, so it's all good. And this I can't wait to watch these movies. This is the type of movies that I always really get into in the month of October. Obviously, I'll probably not get through all of this in October, but this is going to be high on the list, and definitely that one, and even that one. I mean, they all are. It's just such a good eclectic bunch, but great titles, and like I say, in absolutely perfect condition. So finally, I really enjoyed showing you a part of Whitley Bay, especially the Whitley Bay Playhouse that I always talk about. You can see now where it was and how it was so important to just go down every night. Well, if you like the movie, you could watch it for the rest of the week. The money went up, but it was 50p to try it out. So it was a load of rubbish. It doesn't really matter. On a video coming down the line, I will talk about what movies I've seen in the Whitley Bay Playhouse if I can remember them all. In the future, on some videos, I'm going to further explore Whitley Bay and show you some more parts of this great place that I live in. So thanks for watching, especially you, Stephen, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.